Did we finish that particular thing, or still something was remaining? I think.
Sir, we finished the 30 slides. That
Let me check.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all 30 slides were done, right, last time. Okay. Okay, we'll start with the one topic in detail, that is Azure Storage. We did something about storage last time, right? Now we'll cover in details. All right.
okay, sir.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen. And I've spoken to Rufi's daddy. He has a credit card, so we can use that credit card to create an account.
Great.
Right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so today's topic is Azure Storage. We study Azure Storage in detail. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what is so different types of Azure Storage are these? So if you remember, we have covered this last time, right? So just take a snip of this. So we'll just go into little more details on this. Some repetition will be there, so we go a little fast. Taken the snip?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So Azure Blobs, Azure Files, Azure Queues, Tables, Azure SQL Database, Azure Cosmos DB. So these are the various types of storage. Okay. Now we discuss about storage account. So what is storage account? Let's understand the storage account. So storage account has following services clubbed in it. Actually, when you want to make a whenever you want to take a storage in Azure Cloud, you need to make a storage account. So that is must. So storage account is required. So here we have uh, four storages like blobs, queues, tables, and files we can club into a storage account. The why we make storage account is that we can give common properties. You know, we can do the settings, common settings. That's why we need a storage account. The settings will become Is from one place we can do all the settings. That is the benefit of creating a storage account. So all fundamentals, essential storage services are clubbed under single storage account so that management becomes easier. So when we'll be doing this practical, so when we create a storage, whenever we want a storage, any of these, we have to create a storage account. And we have to add all these things in that particular storage account. Azure blobs, queues, tables, and files. Is this clear to you?
Sir, you said
Okay, sir.
we need to make this storage account so that we can do what from one place?
Settings like uh, how many copies it will store, okay, what will be the security, which area, which geographical area. So all those things we can do from one single place. So that is the benefit of storage account.
Okay, sir.
So everything can be done from one place.
Okay.
Getting? So
Yes, sir.
that is the benefit of storage account, right?
Yes.
Taken a snip of this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So here it is. So here this diagram shows that these four types of storage like blobs, files, queues, tables, they all are clubbed under one Azure storage. It shows like that. Okay. Whereas Azure SQL, Azure Cosmos DB, these two will be separate. Means they are separately procured, but these four they are under one storage account. So that is what this particular picture shows.
Sir, are these the original icons how they appear?
Sorry?
Are these the original icons, like
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
symbols?
Yes, yes.
Taken the snips.
Then types of data we have studied. So structured, semi-structured, unstructured. So we know that depending on the type of data, we choose the type of storage. So take the snip of this.
Taken, sir.
Hmm. So we have structured, which is like SQL tables, semi-structured, which is JSON or XML files, unstructured, which is images, backups, videos. These are unstructured data. So JSON ka format we'll see now how it looks like. Okay, so structured looks like this. This is structured ka symbol. It looks like this. It is in the form of tables. Structured is in the form of tables, right? Taken snip of this.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. So this is SQL table, right?
Yeah, SQL table. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the output.
Hmm.
Okay, sir. Take it.
Semi-structured will look like this: key value pairs. There's a key value like that, and it has got flexibility. There's no fixed schema. So semi-structured doesn't have any fixed schema. Hmm? Right? So there's a key value like that. So it's semi-structured. So if this is JSON data looks like this. So this also key value. See, customer ID is the key, this is the value. Name is the key. This is a nested thing. Like inside name is again there's nesting, so that's why bracket is coming here like this. First is the key value, first name, last name, key value like this. So this is a simplified format of JSON, and it's called documents. In the terms of terminology of JSON, it's called a document. It is called as document. Under JSON terminology, we can call it as document.
Sir, what is JSON?
JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. It's given here, no? JavaScript
Yes, that
Object
is a
Notation.
part of semi-structured type of data which
Yeah,
you have
so this is,
mentioned.
yeah, the JSON data looks like this. The one which is displayed here is the JSON data only.
Okay,
Right?
like where it was alphabets as well as numbers,
Huh?
where we have alphabets and numbers, both. Right, sir? Here,
No, key value pair. No, this key, customer ID is the key, and this is the value. Name is the key.
yes.
This whole thing is value. But in that again, first is the key. This is the value. Last is the key. This is the value like this.
Okay.
Understood?
Yes,
And
yes.
this is the key. This whole thing is the value.
Right.
So in that also street is the key
Hmm.
and main street is the value. Number is the key. 101 is the value. City is
Is
the
the
key.
value. Right.
Like that.
Yeah. So address was the key, then street and number and city, they are also the key, but the values are where it is Main Street 101. Right.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. So within a key, we have other keys also.
Yeah. Nesting it is.
Nest, what's that? Can you say that?
Nesting. Nest. Ghosla.
Nesting. Okay.
Hmm. Address is a key, and
Yes.
this is a complex key. So उसका value ऐसा है ना. But
Okay.
if you go inside that, then the street is a key. This is the value. Number is the key. This is the value. Like that. So it's a key value pair. This whole thing is called as a document. In JSON, this is called as document. इसको सबको हम document बोलेंगे. This whole thing is a document. Got it now?
Yes, sir.
और यहाँ पर देखो दूसरा डॉक्यूमेंट में थोड़ा चेंजेस कर दिया हमने. लास्ट ये टाइटल भी डाल दिया, पहले इसमें नहीं था ना. We put a title
तो
also
सर
here.
पहले फर्स्ट नेम लास्ट नेम था, अभी 4 name last name है first की
हाँ,
जगह.
तो ये फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी हो गई ना. दिस इज अ फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी. यू कैन change the schema or structure of the data as per your requirement. वैसे SQL में नहीं होता है ना. SQL में you have fixed columns, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
उसमें ये सब चीज
And
नहीं
you also mentioned that in SQL, if we make change to one column, all of them are affected. Rest all the columns are also affected. However, here, if you make change, it does not affect the others.
correct. That flexibility is there. That's why a lot of people prefer this kind of data because of this flexibility. Getting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And this unstructured data is this like videos, files, WhatsApp messages, Facebook messages, Twitter, etc. This comes under unstructured data. लिया स्निप इसका?
Yes, sir.
Sir, when you say files and videos and all, so does that mean that the format is also included, like JPG format and all? These kind of format files are
Yeah, yeah.
included.
All
Yeah,
files. Yeah.
all these files.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Then we studied them in details like blob storage क्या होता है? Blob stands for binary large objects. It is used to store unstructured data and it can be divided into access tiers like hot access tier, cold access tiers. So whatever data you need on a regular basis, you'll put in the hot access tier. The data which you don't require on a regular basis, you put in the cold access tier.
Sir, then why this is not archived?
But
Why then, if we don't need the data so frequently, then why it is not archived?
archive means you will not need only for a very, very long time. Cold
Okay.
access tier means yes, you require
Like,
but not very frequently.
okay, like archive will be for many years, we may not need it, but in
Yes,
cold access tier, maybe in 1 or 2 months, we would need it.
that's right. That's
Okay,
right.
the frequency is the difference between the two.
Yes, that's right. Correct.
Okay. Sir, here there is something mentioned as 99.9% available, and there is mentioned 99% available. What is the difference between two?
Yeah, 0.9%, madam.
No, that I understand, sir, but why this is specified that it is 99.9% available and this is 99%? Why there is a difference of 0.1? What does that indicate?
See,
Just the
whenever you need
difference.
it, it will come faster. No, 99.9% immediately available. 99% means it will take some time for to make it available. It won't be
Okay.
available immediately with
It
same
will
speed.
take
Some
time to.
latency
Mhm.
period will be there.
Okay, while getting the data, accessing
That's
the
right.
data.
Yes.
Okay.
and we can switch between tiers anytime.
You mean data can be moved from hot access to cold access?
Yes, tiering आप कभी भी change कर सकते हैं. Hot access, cold access, you can do anytime. You can change the tiers. Hot access tier, cold access tier. Getting?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
लिया इसका snip ले लिया?
1 minute, sir. I'm just writing this part.
Why do you want to write, ma'am? Okay.
Only this part, the percentage part and the difference between the two. Yes, sir.
All
Snip
right.
take.
Done.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And types of blobs. These are the different types of blocks which you can take. Tiering is one thing. This is types of blobs. Block blob, append blob, page blob. Block blob, it is made up of blocks of different sizes. The maximum size could be 4.75 terabyte. It is set to 32 MB size by default.
Sir, the append blob that you have mentioned, it does not have any size because it is just to kind of editing part, right?
Which one?
Append blob. There
Hmm.
is no size mentioned because append is the action where we only do editing and not the storing anything.
Append means adding at the end. जैसे error file हो गया, one morning files. You just add it to the end of the file. That is append blob.
This does not need to be of any size because this will take the size of blob or uh, right, because at the end also if we are adding the data, that means we will consume some space from the blob.
No, no. Append blob का कैसा रहता है? Block blob कैसे होता है? That you have to understand. Block blob is for the sequential data. जैसे आपका
Okay.
वीडियो हो गया, वीडियो स्ट्रीमिंग
Hmm.
डेटा
Hmm.
में सिक्वेंशियल डेटा जो आते ही जा रहे हैं एक के बाद एक
Right.
sequential data. So for that you will use block blob. Append blob you will use for
Okay.
situations where you have to add some data at the end of the file. You have to add it at the end of the file.
Like example, sir.
हाँ, जैसे लॉग फाइल्स होती है ना, लॉग फाइल्स में हमेशा डेटा एंड में ऐड होगा, बीच में कभी एडिट भी नहीं होगा.
Okay.
You have some logging
Hmm.
files are there na, some error files, login files. You never put any data in the middle. Always the data is put at the end. मिडल में कभी कोई डेटा नहीं होता
Okay.
है. Getting?
Yes, sir.
So वो append blob हो गया. Then
Okay,
page
sir.
blob. समझा अभी आपको append blob?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then you have page blob. Page blob is used for random access. रैंडम एक्सेस के लिए होगा पेज ब्लॉक. इट कंसिस्ट ऑफ पेजेस. ईच पेज साइज इज 512 बाइट्स. रैंडम एक्सेस मतलब जैसे आपका हार्ड डिस्क का डेटा होता है ना, कैसे होता है, रैंडमली यू एक्सेस फ्रॉम एनीवेयर. सो दैट इज पेज ब्लॉक. सो डिपेंडिंग ऑन योर रिक्वायरमेंट, अगर स्ट्रीमिंग डेटा स्टोर करना है तो यू गो फॉर ब्लॉक ब्लॉक. इफ यू वांट टू जस्ट यूज फॉर लॉगिंग पर्पस देन यूज append block. If you want to randomly access the data, then page blob is suitable, like that. So depending on what is your requirement, business requirement, you will choose one kind of blob here, right? Got it?
Yes, sir.
Then we have queue storage. So queue, remember we had used queue storage, right? Just take a snip of this, read about this, then I would like you to explain it to me. ओके, पढ़ा आपने इसको? हेलो.
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो
Yes, sir.
क्यू स्टोरेज किसके लिए रहता है? आपको याद है लास्ट टाइम आई हैड एक्सप्लेन टू यू
Yes,
व्हाट
sir.
इज क्यू स्टोरेज, व्हाट इज इट यूज्ड फॉर? यस, टेल मी.
Sir, queue storage is used for microservice architecture.
माइक्रो सर्विस आर्किटेक्चर.
Architecture.
ओके.
It is used for the workflow for the
What is
application, sir.
what is microservice architecture? Rian, can you tell me what is microservice architecture?
Sir, minute architecture or फिर minute devices which help to
Huh?
communicate between each other.
No.
Sir, it is used to develop software applications and they are independent of each other. They perform their own task.
Used for software applications.
Yes, sir. And see, these are independent of each other. They perform their own task independently in small pieces, sir. This means it to break down the whole software into small pieces,
Hmm,
uh, and they perform their own task independently of each other. This is called microservices.
correct. So instead of having a very big service, you have a service which is broken down into small components called microservice, right?
Yes, sir.
And
Also, sir, you said one service output is other service input.
yeah, the output of one service is an input to another service,
Other
correct?
service. Yes, sir.
Correct. So that is microservice architecture. The output of one service is the input to another service, right?
Another service.
Mhm. So I gave you example of passport office, right?
Yes, sir.
At passport office, you have many counters. There are many services. Rian, are you understanding? And each counter has a queue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we'll have a queue, right? The output of one service will go as an input to another service and it will sit in a queue. Okay,
Yes.
and then finally from it will be delivered. Like, it
First
will be
in, first
serviced
out.
first in, first out. So we need some storage to store those components in the queue. So that is the requirement there. So we need it to store in the queue, right?
Yes,
Clear
sir.
now? So it allows us to decouple of components and each component will asynchronously communicate with other component with the help of queue storage. The output of one component becomes input for another component. If the other component does not process it immediately, then it will remain in the queue. A queue can contain number of messages and each message can be up to 64 KB in size, right?
Right, sir.
ले लिया इसका snip ले लिया?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the example of, this is how the microservice architecture looks like. Take a snip of this. लिया snip इसका?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we have a client, it goes to the API gateway. API, what is full form of API? So write down the full form of API. API stands for Application Programming Interface. API stands for Application Programming Interface. Application Programming Interface. API.
Okay, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So application programming interface क्या होता है? It is like a set of ready-made libraries which we can use so that we don't have to deal with the complexity of the system. Okay. So this API is exposed to the to us. So we can use those libraries to access the microservice, to access the services from the system. So we'll just request that I want something like this, and this gateway is going to direct it to the proper service and get the job done for you. Getting?
Yes.
So again, I repeat, API is a set of ready-made software components. API is a set of ready-made software components. Okay. API is a set of ready-made software components.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So the cloud is exposing a lot of APIs, and APIs for all languages, all favorite language, like it be it Python, be it Java, be it .NET. So it is just exposing a lot of APIs for different programming languages. Okay, and using that APIs, we can actually uh, communicate with the cloud services easily. So the programmer doesn't have to really work hard interfacing with the cloud. The APIs is doing the job for us. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this is like the picture of queues. Like you set up an account, in that you create queues, Q1, Q2, and each queue can have number of messages like this. Right?
Yes. Yes.
And this is table storage. So it is used to store key value pairs or no SQL data, semi-structured data. Naam table hai, but it's not actually table. It's used to store key value pairs. We also call it as no SQL data. That is another name. We have seen that, right?
Yes, sir.
Done.
Yes, sir.
Then we have file storage. So it is like a file share in the cloud. It is useful to move the on-premises applications that are depending on the local file share to the cloud. So we have seen that, na, file storage, file share on the cloud, right? Last time only I explained to you.
Yes, sir. Office files.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's like
sir.
a network share. It's like a network share in the cloud. So we'll be doing practical based on that as well. This as well. So it uses file share protocols such as SMB 2.1 or 3.0. The files that can be uploaded to share is 1 TB. Got it?
Yes.
Now this is the Azure subscription. In Azure, everything starts with a resource group. So when we go on to Azure, you will see that first we start with the resource group only. If you want to create any virtual machines, it will be created in the resource group. If you want to create any storage account, it will be in the resource group. So we can make number of resource groups in Azure. This is one resource group. This is another resource group like this. Getting?
And sir, as I can see, each resource group have different kind of things in their storage account. Like the first one, I can see there are two blobs and file queues. The second one, I can see there are only table and blobs. So different things can, different storage resource group can have different things in their storage.
Yeah, yeah. Entire solution of Azure is under resource group only. One resource group is like one solution. Okay. So in one Azure subscription, you can make number of resource groups, and then we can have this storage account like this, storage account like this. Machine,
So,
virtual
sir,
machine.
under resource group, the storage account and things that we have, that is that according to the client's requirement? Like maybe some client does not need blob, but they need two files and two queues or two tables. Is this a possibility, or is it that they have to have all of these that are available here?
No, this is just an example. In this
Okay,
example, it's shown in this storage account you have two blobs, one file, one queue. We can have table also. Like you can have number of blobs, right?
right. Yeah. Depending on the requirement of the client.
Hmm.
Okay.
Cosmos DB, Azure SQL, web app. So this is another thing like this.
Yes. Okay.
And this is another resource group. This way again storage accounts are there. Two storage accounts, virtual machines like this. In one storage account there's one table and blob. There's another storage account. There are three queues are there. There are two virtual machines like this. Getting?
Yes.
Now, as I told you, why do we create a storage account? So that we can make some common settings, right? That is the very purpose of creating a storage account is to make some common
Make
settings,
some
right?
common settings.
So what are the settings we can do? These are the ones. Subscription. So the subscription that is used for this storage account is subscription. Location, that data center region that will be used. Performance, standard, premium. तो ये सब settings आप storage account को दे सकते हैं. The subscription that is used for storage account, अपना ours will be a free subscription. Okay, then location, the data center region that will be used, that comes under location. Performance, standard, premium. Standard means it will use the magnetic disk drive. Premium, it will use the SSD. Guys, able to hear?
Yes, sir.
Location is also important. So that is one reason why we want to make reference storage account. So if you are located in India, so we need a India, say West region, for example, right? So the latency will be less. Some storage accounts you may want to take for US office, so वहाँ के हिसाब से you will make another storage account like this. Then you want better performance, so you'll go for SSD hard disk. If the performance is not a very big thing, then you go for the magnetic disk, like that. Then replication, how the data will be replicated. Azure always maintains 3 copies of data, LRS, GRS. So locally redundant storage will maintain the copies within the same data center. Globally redundant storage will maintain the copies across the data center. What happens is whatever data you store in the cloud, in the storage, we want some fault tolerance. We don't want single point of failure. Supposing one copy fails because of some corruption, some hardware failure, whatever. So your data should not be lost. So when we create a storage account, we can select what we want. We want LRS means locally redundant storage, means it will maintain the copies within the same data center. Rian, are you following? Rian?
Yes, sir. Yellow.
So when you take LRS, means it is the same data center. Just a second. तो समझ में आया ये? सो सेम डेटा सेंटर में क्या होगा कि अगर एक्चुअली कैसा रहता है क्लाउड में, आई यू गाइस लिसनिंग?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So in our data center, they have many racks, and each rack has got a separate what do you say, power supply, separate network. Everything is separate for each rack. Okay, हर एक
Yes.
रैक के लिए सेपरेट ऐसा रहेगा, पावर सप्लाई रहेगा. It will have a separate connection and everything will separate. But उसमें क्या होगा कि अगर एक रैक फेल हो गया तो दूसरे रैक में तो आपका डेटा है. We maintain 3 copies, so 3 copies will be maintained in 3 different racks, you can say. Getting? So
Yes,
one
sir.
rack fails, still the
Yes,
other
sir.
racks are having data. But what if the whole data center fails? पूरा data center ही उड़ गया. Then all your data is gone, correct? So if your data
Yes,
is
sir.
very critical, then you have to go for GRS, globally redundant storage. Will maintain the copies across the data center. So globally
Yes.
redundant storage will maintain the copies across the data center. Not at one data center, but across the data center. Getting?
Yes.
Then you have access tiers, cold or hot access tiers. वो हमने देखा, right? So you can
Yes, sir.
put it as a cold tier or hot access tier. Then secure transfer required. See, people are very much worried about the security. Okay, so secure transfer require to need enable HTTPS. So security is of two types: security at rest and security in motion. So the data is also going to travel through network, correct? Because storage, you can access storage from a browser, from various locations. So we don't want data to be hacked in between. So we can enable the HTTPS protocol there for secure transfer, right?
So HTTPS will be the security at motion.
Yeah, data is secure in motion. HTTPS, S for secure.
Is for secure, yes.
Yes, that's right.
So it is said that open the website which has HTTPS, which is S for secure. But we
Yes.
also come across the websites which don't have S, right?
So they are
Your
not secure.
HTTP, they are not.
They are, they are not secure.
So it's one example of security at rest.
Encryption. If you encrypt the data, then security at rest. Okay.
Yes.
Then virtual networks. It will help us to decide from which virtual network it is accessible. It is a security feature as well. Virtual networks is also a security feature. Okay, so there's virtual networks like this. Clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yep. See, here you can see that two separate storage account. Everything is same. All settings are same except for the location. That's why they have made two separate storage accounts. Everything is same except for the storage account. So in this storage account, the location is West US, whereas in this, the location is North Europe, like this. Getting?
Okay, sir. Got it.
Okay. Then next is how many storage accounts required for you? It depends on the following factors: data diversity, in which region is the data required. So that is data diversity. Cost sensitivity, the type of replication, hot or cold access tier, standard or premium, tolerance for management overhead. Because a company may have number of storage account. तो data diversity का भी हमने देखा ना कि you have offices at various regions. So every region you would like to make one uh, storage account, right? So that is data diversity. So company may decide to create a storage account for each location like this. Okay. The next is cost sensitivity. The type of replication, hot or cold access tier, standard or premium. That is cost sensitivity.
So there are how many types of replications?
वो हमने देखा ना अभी replication, LRS or GRS. So this is replication only, na?
Okay.
So maybe for some, obviously LRS will be cheaper, right? GRS will be expensive. LRS सस्ता होगा ना, GRS महंगा जाएगा, करेक्ट?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Across different data centers because they
हाँ,
are saving, and one is just in the same data center, LRS.
correct. So maybe for some storages it is very very crucial, critical. So we will use GRS, but you don't want to use GRS for all, right? So depending on that, you would like to, right?
Yes.
So that is cost sensitive. Then tolerance for management overhead. If you create many accounts, then you have to manage also, no? So how many accounts you can manage easily? That also comes into the picture, right? So depending on that, we will decide like how many storage accounts to make. Hmm? Okay. Then we have account settings. To set up the storage, we need to give the following account settings. Name, it should be globally unique with the Azure, within the Azure. पहले भी हमने setting देखा ना इसमें. What was the setting? That was storage account settings. Here, some more settings are there. Like you have to give a unique name for the storage because that storage will be accessible globally. जैसे वेबसाइट का एक यूनिक नेम होता है ना, वैसे स्टोरेज का भी एक यूनिक नेम देना पड़ता है हमको. We have to give the unique name for the storage. Same way. All right.
Sir, about deployment model.
ये Azure का एक क्लासिक करके एक ओल्ड मॉडल था, अभी कोई यूज नहीं करता है. इट्स बाय डिफॉल्ट इट इज रिसोर्स मैनेजर मॉडल ओनली.
Okay, this is the new one.
Similarly, account kinds, V2 general purpose V2, this is recommended. Storage one general purpose V1, blob storage legacy supports only blob and block storage. ये पुराना account है. अभी V2 it will give you the version also which type you want to choose. So we will choose V2 as our requirement. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Then done. Have you taken a snip of this?
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yes,
Rian,
sir.
done. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then tools for account creation, 4 ways: Azure Portal, Azure CLI. So how we create the account? एक तो पोर्टल पे जाके डायरेक्टली आप क्रिएट कर सकते हो जो हम सीखेंगे. Azure CLI भी होता है, दिस कमांड लाइन इंटरफेस. तो Azure में you will see one more interface called command line interface. Command line interface. Okay, Azure PowerShell. So Azure CLI is command line interface. जब हम Azure पे जाएंगे ना तो हम देखेंगे वहां पर command line interface भी देते हैं. तो ये सब 4 तरीके होते हैं Azure में कमांड्स देने का. एक तो पोर्टल, दूसरा Azure CLI कमांड लाइन इंटरफेस, Azure PowerShell for Windows platform, management client libraries, ये दो तो पोर्टल पे मिल जाएंगे. पोर्टल आप जब लॉगिन करेंगे तो पोर्टल से दिस इज ग्राफिकल यूजर इंटरफेस. ओके, दिस graphical user interface. This is command line interface. So command line interface means you click on that command line interface and then जैसे आपका DOS prompt आता है ना, you seen a DOS prompt ना? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So
DOS command.
हाँ, DOS command कैसे रहते, वहाँ से
Black
हम लोग,
screen, sir.
हाँ ब्लैक स्क्रीन आता है ना, तो वहाँ पर आप दे सकते हो. तीसरा आपका Azure PowerShell. Azure PowerShell क्या होता है कि you can download the what do you say, some Azure Power Utilities you can download, and you can give it from your laptop without connecting to the cloud. So that is called as Azure PowerShell. तो आपके लैपटॉप पे होता है ना PowerShell करके होता है ना.
Yes,
तो
sir.
हाँ, so through that you can connect to the cloud and then you can give command line interface commands through the PowerShell. उसमें एक्चुअल फिजिकली आपको क्लाउड में लॉगिन करने की जरूरत नहीं है, राइट. And fourth technique is like you can use applications such as Python, Java, .NET. Okay, so through that you can connect. As I told you, these cloud, they are offering all the APIs, the libraries. API means application programming interface, the libraries through which you can connect. Okay. The account creation is one-time process, so Azure Portal is preferred. ये तो एक बार ही क्रिएट करना होता है ना, अकाउंट एक बार क्रिएट कर दिया तो बात खत्म हो गई, राइट. तो Azure Portal कभी भी अच्छा है, और it can be integrated with the application using API. क्लियर नाउ. ये 4 तरीके यूनिवर्सल है. तो most of the activities in the cloud you can do in these 4 different ways. Okay, clear? Hello.
Yes, sir. So these are the 4 ways through which Azure account can be created.
हाँ, and it's It's true for almost everything. सबके लिए वैसे ही है. All right.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Then disk roles. There can be 3 disk roles. तो ये किया हमने. जब हार्ड डिस्क हम लगाते हैं ना वर्चुअल मशीन में, इट कैन बी ओएस डिस्क. इट्स यूज्ड फॉर स्टोरिंग द ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. मैक्सिमम साइज कुड बी 2048 GB. So this is OS disk. Then we have data disk. It is used for storing data. एंड टेम्पररी डिस्क भी होती है. जब हम वर्चुअल मशीन बनाएंगे तो उसमें आपको एक टेम्पररी डिस्क भी दिखेगा. जब वर्चुअल मशीन क्रिएट करते हैं तो मिनिमम इट विल क्रिएट अ ओएस डिस्क. Optionally we can create one more data disk there, and temporary disk will be there, which is used for storing only the some soft. For execution of software we require some temporary space called as virtual drive or swap files. So it is used to store the page files, swap files, or we can say for storing the virtual memory. The contents of this disk is lost during maintenance activities. So ये disk पे you should not store anything. If you store anything, what will happen when you restart the system? All the information will be lost. Getting? सारे information जो भी
On
इसके अंदर सब.
temporary disk.
हाँ, तो इस पे कभी कुछ स्टोर नहीं करना चाहिए. अगर सिस्टम रिस्टार्ट हुआ या कुछ हुआ तो it is gone.
Sir, what is the full form of, okay, OS disk is
Operating system disk.
operating system disk.
Hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, sir.
OS disk can be of 3 types: embedable OS disk, managed disk, unmanaged disk. उसमें भी by default it will choose managed disks because उसके काफी facilities है. So Azure will manage everything. We don't have to do anything. So it's better to go for managed disks. By default आजकल वही option selected रहता है. दूसरा option selected नहीं होता है. So it has a storage account maintained by Azure and many benefits. Simple scalability up to 5 इतने managed disk per region आ सकते हैं. High availability. 3 copies are there. मतलब fault tolerant भी है. Azure backup is supported. Includes encrypted disk. Encryption भी कर सकते हैं. Data at rest जो है ना, security at rest. RBAC control, that means you can give some access control to the disk. Support for encryption. Encryption का मैंने कहा था ना, वो भी यहाँ पर possible
Yes,
है.
sir.
So this is the most preferred one and this is the default option. But if you want, you can go for this. This is the fastest because it's like आपके लैपटॉप पे कैसा हार्ड डिस्क होता है ना, फास्टेस्ट होगा because disk attached storage is close to your compute, right? So fastest, faster read write access local to the host machine. If it gets corrupted, then it may not boot up. Getting?
Yes, sir.
Sir, but if it may not boot up means we will not be able to retrieve it.
हाँ, you won't be able to because वही की कॉपी है ना. मैनेज डिस्क में 3 कॉपीज मेंटेन होता है, इसमें एक ही कॉपी होता है.
Okay.
आपका हार्ड डिस्क, लैपटॉप का हार्ड डिस्क करप्ट हो गया तो क्या होगा? हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते ना उसको इस तरह से.
Yes, sir.
So it is not advisable. And third one is unmanaged disk. It's like you will create storage account, you will do everything and you will use that disk, so वो तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा problematic है. So most preferred is this always. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Then we have disk performance measures. So how to measure the performance of disk? One is input output operations per second. How many input outputs per operations per second, right? Mix of read write it can perform per second. Then throughput data transfer rate from host to disk and vice versa. Like data transfer rate, that is called throughput. IOPS means how many input output operations it can perform per second. So this is disk performance measures. All right.
Yes, sir.
Finished, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then types of disks. We have ultra SSD, प्रीमियम SSD, स्टैंडर्ड SSD एंड स्टैंडर्ड HDDs. ये सबसे स्लो होगा, सबसे चीपर भी होगा. So while making virtual machines, you can select any of these. Ultra SSD is the fastest and expensive. Okay. Is this clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, can you just tell one example where somebody would like to use the standard HDD? Because you said it is slow. Cheap is fine, but it is slow. But why one would
एजुकेशन
like to
पर्पस
use?
के लिए अगर हमें अभी प्रैक्टिस करना है तो why would you go for a standard SSD, premium SSD? Just
For
it's okay, slow is
okay,
good.
okay.
सर सर अभी जो करंट लैपटॉप्स है उसमें स्टैंडर्ड एसएसडी होता है ना?
हाँ अभी SSD चलते हैं ना लैपटॉप्स में.
जी सर.
अभी SSD का जमाना है, HDD का जमाना गया अभी. अभी SSD
यस
आते
सर.
हैं. All right.
Yes,
ओके.
So we covered everything about storage today. I hope you guys understood.
yes, sir.
के बेस पे practicals भी है. So just a second. तो हमारा नेक्स्ट क्लास